Welcome everyone to our weekly security and #peakbugs debriefing. This week starting with a just out UEFI system management vulnerabilities, at least in the somewhat widely used inside BIOS here, unsafe pointers, like here, C++, totally got that. Unsafe pointer registering SMI handler. Attacker can use unsafe pointer current pointer to read and write and manipulate data inside SMRAM. Exploiting of this vulnerability can lead to escalation of privileges reserved only for the SMM using the SMI handler. So sounds a little bit worst case scenario. Here vulnerability server G8.2 of all of those 2021, because some days here in the making. And interestingly, they attributed this here somewhere to, they want to think here in their news, where was this? Apparently maybe found by some AI stuff of, even was it inside log4j, whatever, something, maybe this one. Maybe those credits to binary AI-powered firmware threat detection technology. So yeah, 2022 apparently. No, we have AI finding bugs. Didn't find too much inside information. Sounds a little bit so, for those who are new to the stuff, SMM, the system management mode. And that is one privilege mode below your operating system. So depending on how this can be attacked where, I wonder if this is mostly for interested people finding more details about the system management. I would think you would need to have control about the operating system already. So yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, depending on how serious it is. Speaking about severe vulnerabilities, CVE 2022 0185. 185 Linux kernel, recurring theme here, right? Linux kernel written in C, monolithic single address space. They totally got security. Can allow container escapes in Kubernetes. Of course, another worst case scenario of you can escape your container stuff, which is like, obviously, that is what containers were made for, right? To isolate stuff. In this last week's new severity CVE was released affecting the Linux kernel. Also, yeah, we just had some other Linux kernel vulnerabilities that was so severe that we made a dedicated news shoutout, and this is kind of sort of so severe. I also was tempted to make a dedicated news shoutout. If you want more dedicated, like 10-15 or so minutes of breaking news, and leave in the comments below, or share, like, and subscribe and stuff. This vulnerability provides an opportunity for an attacker who has no access to the system as an unprivileged user to escape those rights to root. Amazing stuff, right? Just what we are here for, and what you don't want containers to do. Attacker must have specific Linux capabilities, so caps this admin, which reduces the risk of breakout in some container cases, but in many Kubernetes clusters, they write it's likely that an attacker could exploit this issue. At this moment, though, there was no public exploit for this issue. Researchers who found it have posted a proof of concept showing the container breakout. And this is also a reminder of a little bit of more background. So what this is of course, that is not virtualization, but actually a technology that is way older. Think FreeBSD, what was it, jails, I think, and otherwise 20-year-old of let's just change root some stuff, change root. Containers before this became more namespaces and more modern. We need to containerize everything for scalability and virtualization and security and stuff. And what this means is that it's not running in a little bit more isolated. And there you see this stuff is only a little bit more isolated, right? Between containers and virtual machines, and containers not only higher performance before we had hardware virtualization, but even nowadays with hardware, Intel and AMD and such, RISC-V virtualization, still more lightweight, not requiring a whole new copy of another operating system kernel, and running in a namespace. Namespace I'm not the biggest fan of that word, by the way, this term. Namespace meaning in like Linux and BSD kernels of basically isolating. So basically namespace, a little bit different term for, I mean, it means this stuff has its own namespace in terms of access rights and file system stuff they see in networking. Maybe this stuff should have been more named sandbox or so. So basically, in most cases, this is basically sandbox breakout. Anyway, if you want to, again, just a little bit newscast, right? So if you want more details, always leave in the comments below. And then, because previously, and that is what we made a news cast 20 minutes or so, or actually 20 minutes plus Q&A, so I think it was like 41 minutes or so, bug lurking in the Linux kernel for 12 years. Also, yeah, 1,000 eyes and C language, we got that, single address base, no problem, right? 12-year-old bug. Again, recurring theme was so often, right, not the first, that it's not 5 years or 8 years or 12-year-old bugs that could, in the meantime, be exploited by hackers and state agencies and stuff like NSA and FSB and stuff, or whatever the MI5 or whatever terms there are in Linux distributions. And so this was PolicyKit, super stupid stuff, trivial to exploit and 100% reliable. T2 was not affected in the default installation because we are not depending on, we are not installing PolicyKit. But the bug, super stupid. You probably want to go watch this more main channel video there in that corner. And in similar news, I did some more research. So this is from 2019, a little bit older, but I wanted to not repeat that details, previous video, but shed light because I researched a little bit of surrounding stuff and it came to my attention that even I didn't know that, right? So this is even 20 years Linux distribution, and even I did not knew that thing here, getting arbitrary code execution through fopen second argument. And that is crazy stuff that even I wasn't aware of. And turns out there is some glibc Linux specific, at least I think it was a Linux specific. I think the PolicyKit, the previous bug made, the exploit might have made use of this here or similar stuff. Because there is like CSS payload stuff. And so it turns out that glibc fopen parses some additional arguments. And this is super dangerous stuff, right? And a recurring reminder of, hey, I mean, not that glibc maintainers are watching this, but in general, IT stuff, please don't do this, right? Don't add custom like glibc, macOS, Windows extensions to stuff, because sooner or later it will be, first of all, most people are not aware of it. Most people don't know this. Even I didn't know this stuff, right? And last but not least, you usually, if you introduce crazy stuff like this, sooner than later you will have security vulnerabilities in this stuff. So what this does is allowing here other parses to download your CSS string for conversion modules. So given a string taken as a coded character set, stream marked as byte oriented, thereafter internal conversion function convert IO and to and from this character set string is not specified, then the byte oriented stream is determined first oriented. And I saw this loading gconf modules, and so I think this is even loading .so shared object, and as far as I've seen, so the thing is, the crazy thing is, small Linux distributions like ours are not on those Linux vendor security vulnerabilities, and for this reason that people like me do not disclose stuff early, and I mean, not that I would do that, right? But so they have some inner circle of some people because they don't trust more, and I have not yet seen or I didn't spend more energy and efforts to get this example exploits, but I think the chances are very high that the previous PolicyKit exploit was using this with gconf stuff and saving a shared object, and then using CSS here for character set conversion stuff for loading a custom gconf conversion module, potentially of yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I need to. Yeah, the thing is, will those vendor Linux kernel vendor security list stuff. Will they give me access when they see what kind of YouTube videos I do? But yeah, super dangerous stuff. Stuff is, yeah, did you grasp the situation? Give coded character set. glibc manages to provide a way to translation between this. And in a nutshell, gconf passes an environment variable, changes the configuration of the translation mechanism. And apparently that is loading shared objects too long. Is it dangerous? But yeah, your mileage may vary. In other news, there was actually a Rust CVE 2022-21658. Are we already 21658? Anyway, Rust Security Response Working Group here. The bug is, so this is not a, I would not consider too vital flaw, but just a reminder that just doing everything in Rust is not secure per se. It is of course a magnitude better memory security and stuff, but there can be logic bugs. So this is actually a race condition in standard FS remove directory all. I'm also not entirely sure if this stuff should be in a standard. I recurrently criticize Rust and Cargo for all the micro dependencies. But the crazy thing is they have a humongous amount of micro dependencies of each small, everything in the kitchen sink, small bit set, vector, map, whatever. Even crazy names of, I don't know, parking and whatnot. Super crazy, names so crazy I can't even remember or recall it. Definitely, yeah, previous videos, crazy names. Anyway, I would even argue, I mean, I argued so often, put the major stuff like bit sets and whatnot in the standard library, and then they have stuff like standard file system, remove directory, or like seriously, why is even that in the Rust core library? That is a little bit strange in my opinion. But so there was a race condition, so obtained unprivileged access to system, needed to lead a system directory called sensitive something. Anyway, there was some with symlink creation and like, I mean, this stuff is tricky, right? And this is also not time to check of time to use race condition here. Really tricky stuff. This is of course tricky in all languages, and I said it before, logic bugs, not even race conditions like this, but I said it so often, right? Rust will not protect you from all logic bugs in your application, of course. So still need to write proper code. In similar news, QNAP is reminding people, hey, our stuff is so insecure because outdated Linux kernel and stuff, and then recurring remote code execution in the Linux kernel, glibc, and all the surrounding stuff. Zambar and web servers and stuff like, hey, by the way, don't connect your NAS to the internet, right? Even though we use Linux and open source and stuff. And like, yeah, take immediate action. Stop your NAS from exposing to the internet. Actions to stop your NAS from exposing to the internet. Yeah, English. Anyway, difficult and stuff. Latest available version, update QTS to the latest available version, fight against ransomware together. It's like, yeah, not they write and ship secure software. It's like, no, let's fight ransomware together. Don't expose your NAS to the internet, right? Taipei, there, Taiwan, not China. January 26 issued a statement in response to types of ransomware called Deadbolt. Has been vitally targeting all NAS exposed to the internet without any protection and encrypting users' data for Bitcoin ransom. It's like, yeah, 2022, the ransomware continues now to find QNAP. I think Linux, right? Correct me if I'm wrong if they use BSD, but I'm relatively confident they use Linux. Do they even mention Linux or QNAP Cloud NAS, something features new Linux kernel? So yeah, I guess that makes this stuff use Linux. So yeah, everyone using Linux nowadays, everyone being affected with the same security vulnerabilities plus their own stuff in HTTP dashboards. System administration service can be directly accessed from an external IP following HTTP on the dashboard and like, yeah, exposing stuff to the internet. and you will get security vulnerabilities. In similar news, booby-trapped sites delivering potent new backdoor Trojan to macOS users. This news sites claim researchers have apparently uncovered advanced, 2022, everything is advanced, right? Never seen before macOS malware. Also, previously Steve Jobs and Apple. And one more thing, super top-notch secure recurring peak bugs. Not macOS malware, not the first time installed using exploits that were almost impossible for most users to detect or stop once a user has landed malicious website. Featured backdoor that was written from scratch. So now 2022 stuff is written from scratch for the most advanced macOS malware. There you have it. Indication that developers behind it have significant resources and expertise. Dazzle Spy, as researchers from security firm Asset have named it, provides an array of advanced capabilities, give the attacker ability to fully monitor and control infected Macs, victim device fingerprinting, screen capture, file upload. That's like never seen before. I've seen this recurrently. But anyway, there you have it. Allegedly, apparently, maybe deep pockets, top-notch talent, or stuff is just insecure. Yeah, another reminder, another data point. macOS, no viruses and malware. These advertisements have been 15 years ago, and long time people found out they also only cooked with hot water and the same security vulnerabilities of C, C++. Yeah, we are building IT on the foundation of vulnerabilities. In similar news, macOS users, is everything else amazing? No, apparently not. 2022, the next macOS update. Hashtag peak bugs, Bluetooth-related battery drain issues during sleep mode. The totally amazing macOS hardware and software integration. Everything fits top-notch together. The best integration, the best hardware support, not. And this is really to my surprise, right, that the most market cap companies with their own advertising, best talent and stuff, manage to clobber their best integrated software and hardware updates so that they cause bugs like this. Experience battery drain overnight, Bluetooth accessories here, and this is the outstanding M1. You would have really guessed that Apple has this stuff together by now, that like after 20 years of the most refined software, and this is my recurrent criticism, right? Instead of building and perfecting stuff like no random edits, random features, also I wonder what is with their unit testing and in general their testing. And you would think at least Apple would test macOS better, like with more money, with deep pockets, with limited hardware support. And the stuff is next to bug-free, but unfortunately not. Not a surprise to me. And if Microsoft is YOLOing the stuff is one thing, or the hordes of unpaid GNU Linux developers, but even macOS, suspend battery, Bluetooth. Who cares? In similar news, I found here, and this is what really, just another data point, and what really makes my stomach turn over and made me make this YouTube series, because the latest, yes, this is a beta release, but this is macOS on Apple Silicon, on ARM, on the best of the best, so Apple says. And yet, warning, if your Mac currently has a macOS Catalina installed, installing macOS Monterey 12.3 beta or macOS Big Sur 11.6.4 beta on a volume with file fold enabled might cause a boot loop when attempting to log back into the previous volume. I really wonder how they still, similar to the Bluetooth stuff, right? 2022, you would think really they got Bluetooth, they got sleep, they got OS install. It's like decades ago on DOS, we had partitions and BSD slices. And 2022, the major supplier of quality and polished operating systems, they can't even get their own operating system installation details under control, right? Causing boot loop. I really wonder how they test their stuff, right? Similar to the Bluetooth. I mean, what? And I, as a computer scientist and engineer and stuff, I really have to wonder what kind of code quality you need to write to cause bugs like this. This is really beyond my imagination. In similar news, Tesla, right, in cars, they got this totally recalling over 53,822 cars because they won't stop at stop signs. It's like, yeah. Although you have to say it's not the brake, it's not the mechanics. Government is not happy with the software rolling stop function. Fun fact, I was told if you make a driving license in Germany as a human driver, you will not pass if you rolling stop on a stop sign. Also, yeah, maybe, not sure if you know this, international viewers, but driving school and examination and tests, theoretically and practical, are said to be relatively tough in Germany, and it's more than driving once around the block and stuff. It's like really taking some lessons and some theoretical and practical examination. And I was told, I didn't try that, but I was told by my driving instructor that if you do a rolling stop, like AKA not fully stopping at a stop sign, you will fail that practical examination. And it's like, yeah, 2022 Tesla cars do that. Tesla controversial hands-free driving assistant of subject to another safety recall had to recall already previously 12,000 cars after software update, affecting some of the cars' forward-looking safety features. Also, yeah, 2022, right? And this is the thing, right? Rolling AI and auto features, and this stuff, I said it last year or the previous years, and this stuff has real consequences, right? You YOLO your software update on your 2-ton self-driving mechanical weapon, aka Tesla car, then it's like, yeah, it could kill people, right? And so now it has to remove the rolling stop feature. Also, I wonder, recall, I mean, they can over the air update, right? I didn't read the fine print here, but issue affects Model 3, Y, S, and X running firmware 2020. 4410. I slightly wonder why this is not the date, but maybe this is the date and this was 2 years in testing. I don't know. Leave in the comments below. If I would Tesla, I would like code this year, month, week or something. I don't know what random numbers gliberates this is, but participating in a full self-driving beta program. Also, yes, this program is beta, right? So you pay like some €1,000. If not, I think they increase the price, right? I think in the meantime, I'm not like Tesla fanboy, but I think I read this stuff is maybe, was it previously 8,000? Did they reach? Maybe we Google this in a second. But yeah, you need to pay them thousands of euros, if not 8 or 10,000 or something, for participating in the beta, self-driving beta program. It's hilarious. And then you get recalls of rolling stop features. Anyway. Chill, average, and assertive, and it's anyway. Disabled, so like Tesla's 2021. So yeah, maybe this is a date, and this just was from 2020. Yeah, it's like, although I don't know, these version numbers are strange. Like, do you really want your car to have strange version numbers with AI? Anyway. Probably I should make a dedicated Tesla self-driving video because I read so many scary things about this in the meantime. I mean, it's also not the first time we call this out here, right? And also, let's quickly Google Tesla self-driving beta price. What is the current price? Not too... It's like, yeah, 12. I didn't remember that wrong. So they recently increased this from, I think it previously was 8,000. I don't know what it was initially, but I remember it once was 8,000, and then they increased it to 10,000 or 12,000 for the full safe. I mean, this is also crazy, right? I mean, sure, it's expensive to develop, but you also buy the car already, and the hardware is in there, and like charging 2,000 maybe for some feature, but in my opinion, 8, 10, or 12,000 for. I mean, it's not even stable, or this is insane. But leave me in the comments below. In similar news, how's internet in Germany? It still sucks, right? Recurring viewers know this already. Our also, yeah, someone commented it started with 4K. Yeah, 4K, and no, the usual Elon Musk. Everything is amazing, and you get it cheap next year, and then like 10 years later, hey, it's 12K. Yeah, internet not amazing. It's so broken, the Vodafone stuff that I have to deal with in the office. It was totally broken, and so broken that it was like infrastructure apocalypse. Made it into the German IT news, because obviously, and if you thought internet and stuff in Europe, yeah, Microsoft this morning, destructive cyber attack. Also, yeah, the usual propaganda and stuff, but certainly there is something in there, because Microsoft said they found with their telemetry and customers working there on site and stuff, cyber attack on Ukrainian computer networks. Also, yeah, Cold War did not end with the fall of the Berlin Wall. We are apparently Cold War 2.0 with the stuff going on in the world, and Microsoft warned there like a week ago or so. I thought it was right. Let's check the date. Yeah, January 16th. Like, you know, yeah, this was like some time ago. Detected highly destructive form of malware in dozens of government and private computers networks in Ukraine that appear to be waiting to be triggered by an unknown actor. They didn't know yet by who, but of course, usually either it's the Chinese or the Russians. So apparently, maybe, not sure, did they update something? But anyway, yeah, pro tip, don't use Microsoft stuff, right? Use top-notch, secure, written in C, single address MS, monolithic, namespace, escape, and policy kit broken. But otherwise, totally fine. Linux, obviously, preferable our shameless advertisement, T2 Linux, right? But yeah, we have the same in Germany and so on, and worldwide. Obviously, not everyone should use Linux, because then we have the same vulnerabilities all over the place as well. But yeah, monoculture, if 80+% of the world is running on Microsoft Windows, and obviously 80% of the attack surface is Microsoft Windows. Recurring reminder to run a diverse IT infrastructure, certainly not 80% Windows, especially with all the DOS and Windows 16 era APIs in there, and otherwise old code and stuff. But also we need to transform to a more trustworthy and secure IT infrastructure with yeah, stuff not written in C, like Linux and most open source stuff, and yeah, more memory, safety, and containers, and so on. And insecure systems have real-world consequences, especially in this day and age of Cold War 2.0. Last but not least, DeepMind. The future is now. Don't worry, the future is now. DeepMind's AI will write future code for us, so we don't need to worry about code quality or so, because it's as good as an average human programmer. It's like, yeah, as good as all the security vulnerabilities shouted out here, right? Anyway, so yeah, as it's only as good as an average human programmer, we probably still have, so we are losing jobs, and we still need jobs to review the average human programmer code. So I guess nothing much to worry yet. Actually, this reminds me, I was approved, not sure how many people was approved. I applied for this GitHub, I think it's Copilot, right? This was like invite beta only. I think I was approved some weeks ago. Not sure if everyone was approved now, but that is a reminder that probably I should actually live test here GitHub's Copilot. I guess this is similar. the AI system named AlphaCode, so after Copilot, AlphaCode. So apparently 2022 everyone tries DeepMind AI to code, writes computer programs at a competitive level. Again, probably we should try this sometime soon. Testing system against coding challenges used in human competitions and found that its program achieved an estimated rank, placing it within the top 54% of human coders. The result is a significant step forward to autonomous coding, and also looking to the future where I think they had somewhere writing its own code. Where was it? Somewhere they had like some code of in the future. AI systems have been criticized for producing buggy, vulnerable code, aka the same code quality as average human programmers. But there was somewhere like writing, like, yeah, brave future, right? Brave new times, AI systems potentially probably soon writing their own code, or, well, also here's, here's GitHub. So yeah, this was Copilot developed by code repository. GitHub researchers found around 40% of the output contains security vulnerabilities. It's like, yeah, 2022 and more security vulnerabilities coming live here to this channel. That's basically it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave in the comments below. I try to do this a little bit more regularly this year because there is just too much stuff going on. I probably need to try even harder to better structure that. I saw David John joined here as a subscriber. That is totally amazing. Would be amazing if you should support my coding, T2 Linux distribution, and YouTube content here with YouTube memberships, super chats, GitHub sponsorship, and otherwise share, liking, and subscribing this stuff. Yeah, I hope you learned something. I have to run as usual here between running my company and caring about my family. And as usual, I'm also not only looking to your sharing, liking, and subscribing, but seriously to comments. I had a question, I had a poll on my channel some week ago. What do you think about the state of IT? And it was as disastrous as this shout out here. This was somewhere like, how satisfied are you with the state of information technology? And it's like, yeah, very satisfied. I mean, nearly 100 people voted, which is a growing number for my channel, obviously. But yeah, sure, this is biased, right? Because obviously only critically thinking people subscribe to my content. But yeah, a mere 3% said very satisfied. I'm surprised even 3% of my viewers are satisfied. Otherwise, hey, at least 11% are satisfied. But neutral 25%, and that making a majority of, let me quickly, yeah, obviously over 50%, actually 60% unsatisfied here, unsatisfied, or even more very unsatisfied of everything, hashtag #bigbugs, right? Not a surprise with the security shout outs here live in my IT news. So I'm really looking forward to your content, right? To your comments. What is your take on all the vulnerabilities, on bugs and recurring Cold War 2.0? And as always, looking forward to the next videos and live streams to join.